by the end of this video, you will know the key that you need to heal your periods for good. And you'll have the roadmap to get there. Because the truth is, this is not something that you can do on your own, but it's also not something that you can get someone else to do for you. The reality is a whole lot more nuanced and holistic than that. My name is Kezia, and I'm a medical herbalist, and I actually help women just like you heal their hormones through connecting with themselves and with nature. So finding long-lasting healing naturally. So I bet that we've actually shared a similar journey, because my story with my hormones is long and complicated, and I actually for years had really painful periods to the point where I just couldn't do anything. And I also, the week before my period, would feel so like a different person completely, and have really low, sometimes quite dangerous thought patterns that just felt like it was going to last forever. And that was my story. And I thought that was the way it was going to be forever, basically. And I think we have this common thing in womanhood where you have a period or you have many periods and you're like, something needs to change. So you go and you seek help from a doctor or a gynecologist or whoever. And then either you don't get the help, or worse, you have your symptoms completely dismissed. And so then the next step in the process is, okay, I've got to figure this out on my own. And then you slowly realize, okay, there's a lot of complicated and confusing information out there, and I can't quite do this on my own. So then you give up, and then you come to a place of acceptance, and you're like, well, this is just the way it's going to be. I just have to accept that. And then another period rolls around, and you're like, oh shoot, this was as bad as I remember it being. And I was just gaslighting myself into thinking that, oh, I imagine that pain, or I imagine that depressive episode. And so you realize, okay, I need to get help. And then the loop just continues. And I'm here to say, let's cut the loop. The loop is not working. So following on from my story, I actually finished university, and I just had, finally, for the first time in my life, I had time to recover, and I had time to sleep and eat differently, and I had time to recover from the kind of burnout that I think I'd had, and the depressive symptoms that I'd been having. So in general, I was just in a much better place. And slowly, I realized, gosh, my periods are not that bad anymore. And I have now a feeling of just groundedness and peace. And sure, I do get PMS, but it's much more manageable, and I can definitely pinpoint where in the month things changed and might have affected the way I experienced my PMS. So I'm just feeling so much more in control and balanced. I feel like myself. So I actually don't think I was intentionally trying to heal my period. I was just trying to heal in general, just rest and recuperate. But the byproduct of all of those little actions was that my period got a little better. And as a medical herbalist, I really like to look at the root cause of things. And so I don't think that all of these little pieces were the root cause, so the sleep and the nutrition, although those are vital. I actually think it was something so much deeper. In hindsight, I can look back and I can tell you what this key piece that shifted everything for me was. And the key piece is that healing is not just internal or external, it is embodied, and it is coming back to a sense of yourself, a sense of belonging in who you are, in where you are, and who you're with. And I just think this is such a critical piece, and it sounds quite abstract, so let's put it into a bit of practical context. Let me lay down the foundation for you. This is the roadmap that is going to heal your period, okay? For once and for all. So, number one, I do not want you to come to a place of acceptance. I want you to come to a place of, this is not forever. This is not going to be my forever. It's my present, but it is not going to be my forever story. The second piece is actually learning to trust your body again, because I think after, you know, having symptoms dismissed by other people, or saying, okay, you're dramatic, or you're just imagining it, whatever, that can be quite damaging. So learning to trust that your symptoms are not failures or exaggerations, they're actually key messages from your body, and your body's just saying, hey, pay attention. So that's the second piece. The third piece is remembering where you are in nature, because your body is in nature and it is nature. So we are not separate individuals, we're actually women, a part of the world. And so you can even see this in your cycle, the way that it follows the same pattern of the moon, the 28-day rhythm, and the same pattern of the seasons with its 4 separate phases. It's just mirroring the earth completely. And so you are not separate from nature. You are nature and you're within nature. So that's the fourth piece. And then the fifth piece is remembering who you're with, so your community, and knowing that healing is a communal thing. It is something you do with other people. And then the fourth thing is fifth thing is lay your foundation. So this is when you lay down the basics, so your sleep and your rest. And if you want a really detailed and clear format of how to do this, you can check out the video that's up here, and I'll pop it down in the description as well, because that is the core thing that you need before anything extra is added. Because then the sixth step is then adding all the extras. And so this can be things like herbal medicine, and I'm going to talk all about that in other videos, and things like cycle syncing, which can be such a powerful tool, especially connecting you with who you are, where you are, and with who you're with. I think what I'm trying to say is that healing is not just an internal or external routine. You are an embodied woman, and you need embodied practices that are going to really start healing you from the inside out. And I think we forget that our bodies are connected to our minds, are connected to our spirits, are connected to our nervous system, and everything is one and embodied and together and holistic. And so we've got to think about the deeper core root things before adding anything extra. Okay, if this conversation sparked something in you or resonated with you in some way, please subscribe. I'm going to be doing 3 of these conversations a week. And if you want to dive even deeper, I'll leave my Substack link down below, where a bit more discussion and poetry happens. And yeah, I do hope you found this helpful.